Hey, everybody. Welcome to our first episode of Vitola. Thanks for joining us. I thought what would be kind of a cool thing to do for our first episode is go through some of the top 25 lists. So while we are doing that, I'm going to be smoking a cigar. I am going to be smoking the namakubia from Room 101. This is an old school Room 101. That's how I classify them. So that's back when Room 101 was being made by Davidoff and Camacho. So I'm going with the V cut today on this one. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's age. I don't know if it's nostalgia. But Room 101, old school Room 101, I'm just in love with. I'm a hunter for them. Like, I'll go out and I drove 3 hours to Chicago just to get a box of the original big paybacks. So it is definitely something that I've come to appreciate more and more. Not that Matt Booth isn't making great stuff now, but that old Room 101 just hits a little different for me. But just to kind of introduce myself, my name is Jim. Been smoking cigars for about 5.5, 6 years. And at the end of the day, I just wanted to be able to have a podcast where I could contribute to the cigar industry in whatever way I can. I think the more people we have in the community that are providing their input and collaborating and creating, I just think the better it is. So hopefully, as we kind of go on this journey together, you will kind of get to know my palate and things that I might recommend or that I like. If you like them, then you can start basically following kind of some of the stuff I smoke, the way I smoke it. We can get into anything, but at the end of the day, I've been thinking about doing this for 3 months, and I finally just decided I just have to hit record and start doing it, because you can start thinking of all these different things, like how should I do it? How should I kick it off? Like, I think I've recorded 3 or 4 podcasts, and then I end up deleting them. So I finally today was like, you know what? We're jumping into it, and we're going to make it happen. So yeah, we're going to try just something I think will be kind of interesting to walk through. I'm going to go through 3 of the top 25 for 2020 lists that have been put out. I was hoping to get Half Wheel, but they're not going to be till the end of January, so I felt like I couldn't wait for them. So let's jump into the number 1 list. I think everyone would agree, which is Cigar Aficionado. And my plan is not necessarily to go through every single cigar in all these top 25 lists, but to basically just talk about the cigars I've had that are on the top 25 lists. So Cigar Aficionado, their number 1 was EP Carrillo's the Pledge prequel, and I have had this cigar, and I thought it was a great cigar. The Encore is my favorite EP Carrillo cigar, which was coincidentally the cigar of the year last year for Cigar Aficionado. But I mean, there's not much to say. If you've had an EP Carrillo cigar, then you know it's kind of that kind of consistent, just quality. I find that his stuff is very earthy, Cuban-esque, I guess, is the way a lot of people describe it. Just old school cigar maker, but great cigar. I wouldn't put it in what I call box worthy. So the way I classify cigars in my own head when I'm talking to people is there's trash, which very few cigars wind up in trash, but there's trash, good, great, and box. So if something is a box to me, like a namakubia, then that means I'm going to go out and spend my money and buy a box. And if I buy something as a box, I'm also telling people that I know that you're going to love this cigar. I don't have any cigars that I would rate as box worthy that are niche cigars, where it's like there's a certain person that would like it, or like my personal palate likes it. Really, it's just if it makes box worthy, I think almost anybody will smoke that cigar and think it's a great cigar. Oh, let's see. What else do we have? The next thing I've smoked on their list is actually number 7. So number 7 is Alec and Bradley Gatekeeper, which is made by EP Carrillo. And they specifically call it the Robusto size. I think I've had it in Toro and Robusto. Amazing cigar. It was on the edge of box worthy for me. It was between great and it was bumping box worthy, but it just got kind of bumped out by some other stuff I had smoked this year. But great cigar. I'm a big artwork guy. I love artwork on bands, and I love that picture of just that statue head with like the 24 karat gold kind of like hand that's holding it, and then like the gold blood that's dripping off. Great band, great cigar. I actually like Alec and Bradley's stuff a lot compared to Alec Bradley, which Alec and Bradley is the two sons of Alan Rubin, who started Alec and Bradley. So I see people getting those confused a lot sometimes, but that's the difference. Alec and Bradley have been doing some great stuff like out of the gate, but number 8 I've also had, which is the Oliva V Milanio, which Oliva is one of those cigar companies that they always have stuff their stuff is always banging, but they don't get like these kind of bumps in the media or these like pushes that a lot of other companies do. But it's just the V is box worthy for me. I've smoked tons of different sizes, tons of different blends, and it's just the Series V is good. It's very rich. It has it's not overpowering at all. Some people classify it as like a full body cigar. I think it's kind of a medium full, but it's a great. Oliva makes great cigars, and the Milanio is top notch for sure. Number 10 on Cigar Aficionado's list, I've also had. Number 10 is the Henry Clay Warhawk. And I used to smoke Henry Clay when I first started getting into cigars, but they were the little cheroot cigars, and super overpowering, like very harsh, overpowering. This, though, that Warhawk, it is just, it is a beautiful blend. I think it's just it's creamy. It's not mellow. It's definitely a medium cigar. It kind of reminds me of the Rose of Sharon. You kind of look at it, think it'll be a lighter cigar, but I don't think I would ever think a Henry Clay is going to be like too light, just because of the brand, and it's called Warhawk. So I feel like you got to have a little oomph behind it. But that was a great cigar. I'm putting it in the great category. But yeah, it's delicious. A lot of earthy tones. I thought it was very well balanced, which is something I wasn't expecting based off of the Henry Clays I've had before. But La Aroma de Cuba, number 15 on Cigar Aficionado's list for 2020. I fell in love with this brand in 2020. Bought a sampler early on before COVID hit. I mean, I pounded out every single one of them. I live in Davenport, Iowa. So our local lounge that opened up this year, the Drawing Room, they have L'aroma de Cuba, and once a month I smoke one of those cigars. I've smoked the Edition Special, and it was great. Very smooth, again, well balanced cigar. It's not dry. One thing that I look for in a good cigar is my mouth doesn't get dry when I'm smoking it. So if my mouth gets dry, that's a turnoff for me when it comes to what I'm smoking. So that one is definitely a delicious cigar to enjoy. Number 20 is the Four Kicks, the Kappa Especial in Robusto. I don't think I had the Robusto size, but this wasn't my favorite Four Kicks. My favorite Four Kicks, hands down, is the Mule. I think it's a limited edition Four Kicks Maduro Mule. And that thing was one of the best cigars I've ever had. But not that the Kappa Especial is by any means it's a great cigar. It's Crown Heads. So you're gonna get it's in that Crown Heads wheelhouse. I think it's good for a Four Kicks. I put it in the good. It was borderline good, great for me. But I know a lot of people that have smoked this cigar with me, and they enjoy it. They think it's a great cigar. And construction wise, absolutely. It just flavor wise didn't hit my kind of zone I like, or my taste buds. But number 21, this one is, I promise I'm not biased, even though I have a foundation hat on. Number 21 was the Highclere Castle, the Victorian. I thought this was a great cigar. I am more of a fan of the original Highclere Castle, but this one it kind of takes a little bit of the smoothness out. Maybe not smoothness, a little of the creaminess kind of taken out. It's amped up just a little bit. It's not like a full cigar, in my opinion, but everything's kind of notched up a little bit from the original Highclere. But again, beautiful cigar. Construction, never have a problem with it. So it's good to see that cigar make it on this list, because I think it's a really good cigar. The last one on this list that I have smoked is the La Flor Dominicana 1994 Mambo. Now, I actually got this cigar. I'm a member of Privada Cigar Club, and I actually got this cigar from Brian, who runs Privada Cigar Club. I used to get the Brian's box, which was basically just some cigars he was smoking that he would throw into a package. And I got this cigar twice from him. This was a box-worthy cigar for me. That La Flor Dominicana Mamba, I'm normally not an LFD guy. LFD is a little bit too strong for me to just sit down and enjoy. Like, I got to be ready for an LFD cigar. Like, I've had to eat some food. I've had to, like, get ready for, the experience of a full-bodied cigar. And it was not that with this cigar. It was a delicious cigar. It had tons of flavor, and it was a delight. I did not think I was going to enjoy it. I did. It was a great cigar. I was so glad I got two of them, because it was great. I would definitely buy a box of those if you can get your hands on them. For anybody that's wondering, the namakubia you can't get anymore. Obviously, they don't make them anymore since Matt Booth left Davidoff and started his own thing. But you can still find them. They're very, very hard to find. You got to dig, and you're probably going to pay some money for them. But me and my cousin got our hands on a box of these and split the box, and love it. I just get different flavors off of Old School Room 101 that I don't get in other cigars. With that being said, namakubia is probably third when it comes to Room 101 cigars that I like. I think the Ichiban in that Figurado size was amazing. Johnny Tobacconaut in the Figurado size is money. The Master Blend one, I got that in the Papachulo and love smoking that cigar. That's a delicious cigar. But namakubia, I only got a couple more of these left, so I'm starting to Jones. I'm gonna run out. Let's pop over to Cigar Journal real quick. Cigar Journal number 1. You can't go wrong with this cigar. This cigar is amazing. Plasencia Almafuerte Robusto. I mean, anybody that smoked a Plasencia cigar, if it wasn't the Almafuerte, go back and buy one and smoke it, because it is an amazing cigar. This is definitely a box-worthy cigar for me. The only problem with this cigar, it's a little pricey. At least in my area, you're going to be paying $20 to $25 for one of these Plasencia Almafuertes. Now they just came out with another Almafuerte, which is like a green label Almafuerte. I think I have one of the wrappers here. So it's green and gold instead of the original, which is gold and black. So that's something to keep in mind. There's more Almafuertes out there now, but this is the black and gold labeled one. It's also it's all Nicaraguan. Great cigar. If you find one, if you see it on the shelf, pull the trigger. You will not be disappointed. Oh, with Cigar Journal, we're going to have to go down the list of ways. They have a lot of cigars on here that are very unique that a lot of brands I've never even heard of before, but we're going to go to number 8 on their list, Tatuaje Mexican Experiment 2. This, hands down, is my favorite Tatuaje I have had. I am not a huge Tatuaje fan. Similar to LFD, they're just always a little bit out of my comfort zone. I still enjoy them, but it's, I don't know. It's at the tip of what I like to smoke. But the Mexican Experiment 2 was fantastic. I would definitely put this in box-worthy territory. It's a great cigar. Smokes amazing. It's got that San Andreas wrapper, which a lot of people are doing San Andreas cigars lately. It's kind of like the new broadleaf, but love this cigar. Very much worth it. If you haven't had it yet, if you haven't been a fan of Tatuaje, pull the trigger and do yourself a favor and smoke that cigar. Oh, let's see. Where are we stopping next on our journey for 2020? Man, I really haven't smoked a lot of these Cigar Journal cigars. Undercrown Shady X. So this cigar I have smoked, and this may be a little TMI, but there is one cigar that will make me vomit every time I smoke it. I've smoked it 3 times, and every time I want to love it. I want to love it because I love this company. I love almost everything else they make, but I cannot smoke the Undercrown by Drew Estate. So the Shady XX is basically another version of that Undercrown blend. And I shied away from it for a while because I was like, I really don't. I know what happens when I smoke Undercrown, but I had smoked the Dojo, the Dogma, and that was a great cigar. So I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. To me, this is an Undercrown, but for whatever reason, there is that thing that pushes me over the line that I don't get with this and I don't get with the Dogma. They're both great cigars. Construction was amazing. Very, very bold. It reminds me of, I look at the Underground series as like, the Liga series is like the Rolls Royce. And then the Undercrown series is like owned by the same company, but it's like the more obtainable car because not everybody can afford a Rolls Royce all the time. And so everything to me is Liga-ish, but it's just a little bit of that refinement, that luxury is tapped down a little bit. But it's a good cigar. I put it in the great category. Didn't make box for me, but solid cigar. Ooh, this guy. Southern Draw, Jacob's Ladder, Brimstone. This cigar scared me. For the previous comments I made about the Undercrown, when I got my hands on this cigar, I was like, this is not going to go well for Jim. But I was pleasantly surprised by this cigar. I have yet to have the drawing room, or not the drawing room, sorry, Southern Draw let me down. Everything they make is different than I think it'll be. My preconceptions whenever I pick up their cigars is never what it ends up being. And this was the same way. I thought this thing was going to put me in the ground for the rest of the night, and I was pleasantly surprised. It's still out of my normal strength range, but it's a great cigar. Very, very, very oily. Just kind of this thick, meaty, just chocolatey. It's a great cigar. And it was just, I felt like I'll probably make a lot of car analogies, but it was the difference to me between like an old school muscle car, like 400 horsepower Nova, versus like a newer sports car that has a lot more horsepower, but it's more refined. It's under control more. And so even though it's got that punch, it doesn't hit you in the face like you think it will. But great cigar. Great cigar. That's it for Cigar Journal. Let's pop over to our last list. And this is Greg and Nick's list from JR Cigar. We're going to pop through this real quick. Let's see what I've had on there. Their number one cigar. I was really surprised that this was their number one cigar. I thought it was a great cigar. It was not a box cigar for me. And maybe it's because I always have this competing flavor in my head when Room 101 comes out with something that competes with something Room 101 put out already. So I love the original Big Payback. It was a great cigar. I actually have the, I don't know what you call it because Matt Booth names the sizes all weird, but it's like the Giacomoca. It's like a 7.5 foot torpedo. It's like a 72-inch ring gauge. And I don't like big ring gauge cigars, and that cigar is ridiculous. I mean, it looks ridiculous. But the torpedo makes it easy enough for you to smoke where you don't feel like you got to unhinge your jaw. And it's the original Big Payback was amazing. So I had that in my brain when I smoked this. So I guess I should say their number one cigar was Room 101 Big Payback, the new version, right? That the relaunched version under the new brand, or maybe not new brand's not the right way to say that, but the relaunched brand. And I thought it was a great cigar. I put it in my great category. It wasn't boxed for me. It was a great cigar, but the guys over at JR Cigars, they gave it number one. And I mean, part of me is happy that it hit number one because I love Room 101 as a brand. I love what Matt Booth does. I love, yeah, I'm just a fan of the brand, fan of the artwork. I like Matt a little bit. Like, I like the goofy kind of stuff Matt used to do, but anyway, yeah, Big Payback was their number one. That was a great cigar for me. I thought it was definitely a good cigar or a great cigar. I think a lot of people would put it in their box worthy. A lot of people would smoke that and love it. Number 3 on their list is the Illusione Epernay 10th anniversary box. I love this cigar. This was a great cigar for me. I haven't had any white band Illusione, and I struggle with Illusione because it is very hard for me to separate their different blends because the bands don't stand out to me. Like, I'm a very visual person, so like I can look at a band and know what cigar it is and if I liked it. Well, with Illusione, it's like everything's the same. I have the same problem with Aromacraft. It's like I know it was a brown band. I have no idea what it is because that brown band, sometimes I see different names on it. But anyway, the Epernay 10th anniversary, I have had. Delicious cigar. It's a box for me. Anything white label Illusione, I've always liked. Dion, whenever I watch him on like podcasts and stuff, the guy seems like he's like a science genius when it comes to tobacco. When you listen to him talk about this and the brain and this and interacting and blah, blah, blah. And he's mapped my brain because this cigar was a great cigar. Number 4 is the Foundation Tabernacle. So this again is on the JR list. Their top 25 list, I think it is, for 2020. Yeah, absolutely. I think the Tabernacle is a great cigar. It is a box cigar. It is my favorite cigar of all time is the Liga 9. I had that, and it was just the environment where I was at, the people I was around. But that cigar it was Mount Rushmore for me when I had it. And the Tabernacle, to me, is as close to Liga 9 as I've ever gotten without a Liga 9. So it is dark, oily, rich. Construction will not be a problem with a Foundation cigar. Everything that Nick Melillo has been throwing out has been great. My favorite Foundation cigar is actually El Buense, the original El Buense. Love that cigar. Got my hand on the 5-year anniversarios, so I'm going to be doing a review on those with that beautiful box. But Tabernacle, great cigar, box-worthy cigar. I haven't found anybody that their wheelhouse is medium to medium full to full who doesn't like this cigar. Great cigar. Crown Heads, Mila Diaz. I don't know if I butchered this stuff or not, but so they got number 5, and this is a great cigar. I've smoked this cigar 3 times. This is probably tied for my favorite Crown Head cigar. That 4 Kicks Mule is still number 1, but this is a close second. I liked it better than the Los Calaveras of the last couple years. I thought it was a great cigar, well balanced, kind of I would put it in like the medium, maybe medium full as far as strength. Flavor, it's very complex. It has a lot of transitions. I thought it was a great cigar from Crown Heads. So let's see, number 12, Dunbarton's Tricky Traca. Now, I love Dunbarton. I like them like I like Room 101, like I like Foundation. But Dunbarton, Steve Saka, is usually at the top of my strength or flavor profile. So even though unquestionably the quality of his stuff is amazing, I feel like I'm on my tippy toes when I'm smoking it. And I thought Tricky Traca was going to put me down in my seat. And it actually was it was a really good cigar. Just because of my flavor profile, it was still a little bit stronger than me. So it was a great cigar, in my opinion. But for people that like strong punch you in the mouth, kind of tobacco, this would probably be right up your alley. I thought it was a great cigar, great flavor. It definitely wasn't as strong as I thought it would be. It wasn't by any means medium, but it was a treat. I wasn't expecting it to like it as much as I did. And again, Steve Saka, he's in that group of guys that doesn't compromise when it comes to quality and what he's producing. And I think it shows in any of his cigars that you smoke. Number 15 is the Rocky Patel Age Limited Rare Second Edition. Love this cigar. I've never been a huge Rocky fan. I've tried a lot of Rocky stuff. Rocky usually falls in good for me, in that good category. But this definitely would be a box-worthy cigar for me. I could smoke this cigar pretty much anytime. It's just a well-balanced cigar. I put it in medium. It has good flavor. You can tell it's aged. It's kind of just got that smooth, instead of kind of like transitions like this. It just kind of, it's got those smooth transitions. You can tell there's quality in the actual tobacco itself. And I didn't have any construction issues when I smoked this cigar. It was a great cigar. Let's see. Do we have anything else on this list? No, that's it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. It was kind of my stab at putting my first bit of content out there. And yeah, at the end of the day, we're going to start doing more content with Vitola. And hopefully we can get some engagement and kind of start brainstorming on things you'd like to see, maybe certain cigars you'd like to see reviewed. The plan is to just kind of talk to the camera while I'm smoking cigars, basically. I'm out here anyway enjoying cigars, so why not throw some content out there and maybe just start to kind of just have another outlet for the internet cigar community to get involved. Maybe we'll start doing some live events at the local brick and mortar shops that are around in my area. I got some trips coming up in the Tampa area, so I'd like to do some stuff while I'm down there. But yeah, hopefully you guys like it. Hopefully as we kind of go on this journey together, you see what I like and kind of what my palate likes. And if you like those things, then you can, start to go, okay, well, if Jim liked this, then I know I'm going to like this. So, but that's it. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Look forward to seeing you in the comments, hearing from you on our Instagram page or our YouTube page. And we also have a podcast version of this. Thanks. Have a good day, everybody.